Hello, my name is Olivia Walls, and this video is going to be about 3 methods for locating white-tailed deer fawns with the intent of capture. White-tailed deer, specifically in the state of Florida, can typically be found in mixed hardwood forests with vegetation like what's shown in this picture. As you can see, there can be varying levels to the plant diversity on the ground, and that can make it more difficult for human observers to locate fawns and traverse the study area. Therefore, the 3 methods I will be talking about today have been used as alternatives to human observers in locating white-tailed deer fawn. The first method I will be discussing today is the use of FLIR, or forward-looking infrared, otherwise known as thermal imaging. FLIR is used on a camera that can be either mounted or handheld. As you can see in this video, FLIR observes the heat differential between the fawn and the ambient environment, allowing for easier detection than with the naked eye. A study by Professor Ditchkoff of Auburn University found that the effort required to locate and capture fawns using FLIR was significantly smaller than when VITs or vaginal implant transmitters were used, about 13 hours compared to 60 hours respectively. Consequently, because it would require less effort, less money would be spent on manpower or travel costs than the other methods talked about in this video. And that would be very important because these cameras can get very expensive. But also, just like with human eyesight, these cameras can only detect so far. As with that same study that I previously mentioned, they found that the probability of detecting fawns begins to decrease at around 30 meters, and detection reaching roughly 0 at around 80 meters. Another issue is that these cameras are unable to see through thick vegetation, so using these cameras in forests with dense understory may lead to more effort being required to detect fawns, negating the first point mentioned here. The second method I will discuss with you today are detection dogs. With their exceptional sense of smell along with their trainability, dogs have been used to locate animals with more success than human observers have had. As I previously mentioned, dogs have an exceptional sense of smell and can actually be trained to specifically look for fawns. Dogs are also faster and more agile than their human counterparts and are able to cover more area than a human could in the same amount of time. However, it can be very costly both in terms of money and time to train a dog to be efficient enough to locate an animal. And because dogs are predators searching for a prey animal, you run the risk that dogs will cause immense stress to the fawns, potentially to the point of death. And also, because dogs rely on their sense of smell, the poor weather, such as rain, could prevent dogs from picking up scent trails. So this leads me to the final method, which is also the method that I believe to be the most suitable for locating white-tailed deer fawns with the intention of capturing them. Vaginal implant transmitters, or VITs, are transmitters that are inserted into a pregnant doe's vagina and are expelled upon the doe giving birth. VITs are programmed with a temperature switch so that after they are dropped and begin to cool, they begin to manually track the location of the birth site. VITs can be received on either VHF, which is very high frequency, or GPS. This allows for the location of the birthing site to be located precisely and from a very large coverage area. This also means that several does can be tracked simultaneously. With VITs, you will need to buy 1 transmitter per doe, which depending on the number of does needed for the research, it can become very pricey. But I do still believe that this cost will still be comparable to those of the previous two methods discussed. Obviously, one of the biggest setbacks with using VITs is that it requires the capture of pregnant does in order for the transmitter to be inserted. Another major drawback is the occurrence of premature expulsion of the transmitter due to either improper application or removal by the does themselves. However, there have been significant improvements in the technology in recent years, creating larger wings and shorter antennas to ensure that the transmitters remain until the birth of the fawns. With this reasoning and all of the benefits that VITs provide, I believe that they are the best method for locating white-tailed deer fawns. I would like to give special thanks to all of the authors whose papers I used for this video, as well as Dr. Bob McCleary from the University of Florida. If anyone has any questions, please leave them in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer them. Thank you for watching.